Good evening and welcome back to the Mancunian Way. My name is Martin. I'm your host, joined by the three legends, the three stooges, whatever you want to call them.
The Three Musketeers.
Yeah, three
amigos.
Musketeers. That's a good one. We've got Rich, Ozzy, and Dogtanian up there.
Well, all I can say is, yeah, you've got some rag on that is cheap and.
I don't think I have. I think you'll find it's a City shirt. It's not a United one, mate.
Mate, it might be a City shirt, but I hate it. I don't like it at all.
If it was a Newcastle one, you'd be all over it, wouldn't you?
No, but I just think it looks like a cheap rag.
I just think this with 17 verts on the back would look rather sexy, don't you?
Well, you can tell it's an impersonation one because you haven't got the Premiership badge on it.
It's not. It's from the actual City store, you numpty.
Where's the Premier League badge?
We don't hold the Premier League.
Get them, Alan.
We don't hold it. Don't you have to have it gold?
You have to have a blue one. You have to have
no, you should have a blue one, Rich.
Yeah, you have to pay for them, Alan. They don't come with it. You can tell you buy the knockoff ones because you get them with them. Clearly, you buy the knockoff.
Mine's not from Thailand. So there you go.
Mine isn't.
Even the knockoff ones you can get with the badge on.
Alan, mine's from the Manchester City store, somewhere you've never been in God knows how long.
Well, all I can say is I don't like it. What's that white thing going right across the shirt? We're playing sky blue, end off. Yeah, that's awful.
Hey, this is my cup final shirt. You know, somewhere else you're not going. Anyway, good evening. Hope we're all okay.
Martin, can we call you Tony Pulis now if you're wearing the club shop? Because he wears
he queues up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get his shirt when he comes out every year. Trust me, he does.
Jack Lee's in the building. Win this game at all costs. Salvage something from this poor season. Good evening, Mingy Wong, who's put loads of messages in. Good evening, mate. Look here. Thank you for all them. Chat rate. Lovely. We're loving a bit of chat rate there. Mingy Wong, thank you. Nabil, let's go. Pat, with his excuse. No, I'm not joking, mate. Stuck at work. We'll listen to it when I get in. By the way, massive big up to Pat and the gang from Wednesday. Yesterday, great show. On its way to 2K already. Massive thank you. Really enjoyed it. I'm about 3/4 through it at the moment. I'll try and skip the parts where Alan's waffling, but good afternoon, good evening, DC. Hope you are very, very well. Have a good day. Yeah, you have a good day, Pat, and I hope everyone's okay after what's going on, mate. We're all with you, mate. Thoughts with the family. Shane, Pat, really hope so. DC, here we go. By the way, I will say in Aussie Blues Down Under, we had a few new comments from some Aussie Blues, some expats, Rich, that we did notice, which is lovely. By the way, if you are an expat living down under, please avoid Alan at all costs. But if you want to reach out, you want to maybe get in touch, we can maybe bring you on one day. The show is for the Blues Down Under.
Ozzy Allen looks after expats, Martin. He looks after them. They can always chat to Ozzy Allen.
Yeah, right. I am going to mention that. I am going to open with why we went a little bit silent. I'm just going to make one very brief statement, and that is it. We're going to move on from it. We're not going to go into the who's, why's, what's, and what went on. What went on is what went on. We know. That's all that you all need to know. We know what went on. But yeah, sadly, Tone has left the channel. He's left all social media now moving forward. He will not be on anything social media-wise, any more shows for any City channel, podcast. Everything's gone with Tone, sadly, and we wish him all the best and everything moving forward. It is a shame. Fee's still, everyone else is still here. It's nothing to do with the channel. There was just some incidents over the weekend that had to be dealt with. Thankfully, they have all been dealt with now. But people have to put their families into consideration at this just juncture. has been a long season. It has been hard. We've made a decision. We're going to put the podcast on hold until the new season while we just rejig a few things around, but everything else is going to stay the same. But yeah, we've made the decision on spaces. They're not going to be all the time. I am. I'm going to do one space a week, and that's it. We'll have less interaction on X a little bit because it's a poisonous chalice at the moment. Not very nice. People are not being nice to each other. Only football, and everyone's lost their mind. I get the result was crap. You know, I said it. Why a lot of people didn't do shows. I travelled 10, 11 hours there and back for that shit. It is what it is. We move on. But yeah, so that is it. No more. There's not going to be questions about it. There's not going to be everything else. That is the one and only statement we're going to make. Now we move on. So please do not go on about it in the comments, or you will have to suddenly be timed out because we're not going to go into delve into it any more out of respect for the people involved. So yeah, Louis, thank you for the 16th month, mate. You, sir, are a legend. Thank you so much. Really, really nervous that Liverpool beats the Wirtz. Rumours are the thing is though they've not even met him properly from what I've heard. There may be interest, but they've not met him. So I don't know whether I've never known anyone be able to be in Manchester and Liverpool at the same time. He must have he must have time warped himself over. But hey ho. We'll see. I still think, City are favourites for the English clubs. Bayern Munich are the one I'm scared of. Not Liverpool. I'm scared of Bayern Munich. But yeah, we'll get into it. But we are going to kick off with the cup final in a minute. Dash is with us. Super Wins, good evening, mate. Salah, how are you? Colin's with us. Good evening. Jack, I can see Liverpool getting Wirtz. We'll see. Nick, good evening, mate. Lovely meeting you down at Southampton. Lovely photo as well. You are a legend, sir. Go and give Nick a lot of love over at 1894. And I can't wait to see that tifo at Wembley at weekend. Toxin said he's not going to Liverpool. Dudley's with us, long-standing member. How are you, mate? Harry's with us. There's loads of this. Mark, I have not got your email. I will look at the emails tonight, mate, and come back to you. So I do apologise. I've enjoyed a few days off. Ed is with us. Good evening. Lee Gates is with us. Loads of people in the building. 170 people nearly. Stafford is with us. Sean's with us. Elder's with us. Steve Black, legend. How are you, sir? I hope you're okay. It's lovely to see you again, mate. Lovely to see you again. And I hope you are well, mate. Louis, loving the shirt. Yo, Ryjack. How are you doing, chat and panel? Go and give Ryjack a lot of love. Channel description is in the description. Go and hit that subscribe. Show the fellow City content creators a lot of love. Jules says, nice shirt, Martin. Jarvis, the most confusing saga that what's next. Get me Morgan Gibbs White done. Full sash wanker, says Pat. DC said, Martin, that's a great shirt.
Good shirt.
Alan, they're all disagreeing with you now. Martin finding his inner LB. Listen, I do like a shirt. This is go and show him a lot of love. Can't wait for the cup final going down tomorrow night. Can't wait for it. Safe travels. It is sold out now, by the way. That is official. City Original City Gents, new home shirt is mint. Alan, you're in the minority here, mate.
Yeah, no, he means the colour mint.
Hello, love the kit, Martin says.
It does actually.
Alan Rich, you're in the minority here, boys.
Lily is not Lily, but he's bang on. It looks like a mint. It looks like one of those little Mentos packets with a little white stripe and Mentos. It is a mint. That's what I missed. Well spotted.
Never seen Alan wear a kit. Is he banned from the City store? He's banned from England, mate.
I've got all the kits since 1971, but I don't wear them.
They don't fit you anymore.
Yeah, they do.
He's one of the few people who has all the shirts from the 50s he bought as a kid.
Hey, by the way, I've gone down a size in a shirt. I'm well impressed. Like,
well done, Martin.
Incorrect.
Martin, well done.
Man's enjoying it.
What size are you now? XXX.
Cheeky bastard.
Yeah. Enough about your favourite YouTube channel.
He won't, Harry. He won't, mate. Yeah, Nick, it is. I will send on all your love. Sorry, it's about Tom's great bloke. Enjoy listening to what he has to say. Sad to hear. Sad about Tone. Tony, if you're watching, we're all here. Love you. Hope Tony's good. Hope he hasn't kicked off. Hope he wasn't kicked off the channel. No one was kicked off, Jack. Ozzy and Rich will confirm that. Me and Ozzy spent. How long did we spend Sunday?
Very long time.
Sunday was not a good day for me and Ozzy. we were on the phone all day. It was a bad day. It was a bad day. Yeah, so trust me, no one was kicked off. X is harmful. Please stay away from mental health. Yeah, we're just going to do the spaces and come off once a week and we're done. You are dealing with a lot of immature people on X. Yeah, it is. Sadly. It is, sadly. Why are people such shits? Yeah.
That's the lucky thing, you see. It hasn't reached Australia yet, so we all miss out on it.
And that's great, but it's quite sad considering the spaces were actually getting very nice lately. They were very analytical, very grown up. And yeah, just it's yeah. Have I got anyone on the back? No, not yet. I am waiting. I don't get players' names on the back because when I buy a player, when I get a player on the back, they tend to leave. I got George Wayne on the back.
When it goes to games, we tend to lose.
How much will you pay him to get Nunes?
No, I got, as you know, you all know the story. I got George Weah, and then he pissed off, and I had to replace it with Richard Dunn. Then I went and got Sean Wright-Phillips, and he pissed off to Chelsea. So I'm just not doing it anymore.
It's why you only ever get, if you're going to do it, get a retired player. Then you haven't got anything to worry about. You know, get Go-To or something like that.
And for the love of God, Rich, he's not allowed Haaland on the back of his shirt ever.
No, he could get his dad. He could get Alfie.
No,
Haaland.
No, I'm not even allowing that, Rich.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and get Haaland on the back.
Do you know how much slaughter you would get if he's just up to the left?
And then he leaves. Up early Saturday. By the way, can I just say this is a cup final special. So if you want to share what you're doing this weekend, whether you're going, whether you're having a party, you're doing whatever, let us know because we'd love to know your stories. And I'll tell you what, if you've got any clips, if you want to send us any clips of the weekend, you know, our email's down there, as you can see, mancunianway8940@gmail.com. Send them in and we'll make a little collaboration of them all. I think that'd be good because I'm going to do that again over the weekend. I'll try and make sure my other half is not in them. Hope everything's okay. Yeah, everyone's showing some nice support here for Tone, and I'm sure he'll hear about them somehow. Jack, they've not met Wirtz, not a single journo confirmed it. Yeah, no one's confirmed they've met him. They've just said they're interested. He was in Manchester.
Yeah, he pretty much came to Manchester, met with Manchester City, and then left straight after back on a private plane. So there's no meetings with Liverpool. They may have spoken on the phone or via Zoom, but apart from that.
Yeah, bit odd. You see, he came into Blackpool. We'll get into it. He came into Blackpool to avoid the media stuff. He didn't come to. I know this is where I think some of this Liverpool stuff's come from. He's gone to Blackpool and Via got into Liverpool. So you know, he was at City, being shown around. His parents, him. When was he getting time to go to Liverpool and do all that? Jesus.
He came into Blackpool to see, you know, one of the world's great tourist destinations.
Oh,
you know, he's apparently flies in on his private jet to see the illuminations every year.
Right, well, let's get into it.
Was he shouting I can see the tower. I can see the tower like we do.
That's where Alan Bradley died.
Where?
No, he didn't die in the tower. He got run over by a tram.
Yeah, but on the front, it was on the front there, wasn't it? So this little plaque, Flying Wirtz went and
yes, LB and Rich will be on the Waffle Show tomorrow. No, the Waffle Show is still going ahead. Rich should be joining us and LB. But yeah, right. Let's get into it. FA Cup final. Can I just say? And then I'm going to shut up. It's a general question. I feel like there's not been any hoo-ha about this week, even from City fans.
What?
Hardly anyone's excited. No one's talking about an FA Cup final.
You know why that is, Martin?
Why?
One, transfers. Yeah, one, transfers. And two, it's still in the middle of the season when really it should be after the season's finished.
Yeah, correct. 100%.
That's why no one's really kind of banging on about it, because we all normally would be looking forward to this after the season, but they've put it stupidly where they've put it before the end of the season. Most people aren't happy about that. Why they've done it, I think, is ridiculous. So, it's not surprising that people are not particularly, really looking forward to it. I mean, they haven't put it far from when they're semi-finalists, and they wonder why City couldn't sell out. I mean, yeah.
Let's face it, the most important game is the week after. Well, we have to win to get in the Champions League. I'm sorry, but it is.
I think it's also the fan bases as well. I think, the Palace fans are quite reticent to get overly too excited because it's such a huge game in their history. They're a club who've never won a trophy. It means, it's not like Liverpool. It means more. This game means so much to the Palace fans and to that club who've never won anything. And City fans, on the other hand, it means a fair bit, but we're not in the media. We're not out there usually going on and on. We're not Scousers. We're not United. We're not Arsenal. We tend to talk after we've done our business rather than before. So I think that combination of the two games, I'm surprised the media hasn't kind of bigged up the Palace story more than it has, globally, not just in Australia. But, the fact is, for the good of football, Crystal Palace are the team responsible for Alex Ferguson and what he did at United. For the good of football, we need to punish them for what they inflicted on us and the rest of the game for the 90s and the 2000s. And so that romantic story, their first trophy, can't come true.
Okay. No, I just feel as though there's not a lot of. I don't know. I mean, I'm excited. I'm like, yeah, cannot wait. Let's go. I feel as though everyone's like said all the transfer stuff this week. Alan makes a good point. The Bournemouth game on Tuesday night, it just seems to have been a bit of a damp squid at the minute. Now, I think Saturday morning when we all get down there and we're all in, Wembley Way and we're enjoying it and we're getting, that big tifo of KDB will come out in the lower stand. I think it'll ramp up. Just feels a bit there at the minute. And this is a major cup final. I love the FA Cup. The FA Cup is the oldest cup in the history of football.
Well, yeah, but the problem is, Martin, your record for going away from home and watching games is not great.
See, that's a lot of garbage because the last time I went before Southampton, we won 6-0. Did we not? Did we not? Last time we went to Southampton, we put 4 past them. I went to Tottenham. Never won at Tottenham ever in our history. Came back with a win.
I think it's
I know that
finals, Martin. We went to the final last year. Obviously, we didn't win. So
it's not true that we've never won at Tottenham in our history. We've
At
won
the
there
new
in the last.
stadium. Rich, stop being facetious.
Okay, at the new
You with that crap.
the
We
stadium.
happened at the new stadium.
Richie was at. Richie
No,
was at.
when I
hadn't
went,
won it.
we hadn't won at the
Wembley.
time when I went.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll jump at once there.
Yeah.
Whoa, come on, lads. See what I mean?
I think-
These three aren't even
I've said-
enthusiastic about this.
I've said how vital it is we put them in their place because of what they did about Ferguson. I think it's.
Listen, don't get me wrong. I want to win, and I hope we do win. But I'm more concerned on Tuesday against Bournemouth. We have to win that, no matter what.
Hang on, Alan. You all keep telling me it's about the trophies. Now you sound like Arsene Wenger.
Well, all our transfer hopefuls, as I say, agendas are all based on Tuesday night against Bournemouth. Because if we lose that, all the time.
No, Bournemouth are on a beach, challenge. They're on a beach. They have nothing to play for.
Yeah, and so Southampton. And what happened then?
That's where you're wrong. Southampton have a lot to play for.
That's
Bournemouth beat Arsenal. Bournemouth beat Arsenal on the beach, so I don't think we can.
Well, they're not the 10th.
Yeah, but if you look at the point score,
say goodbye to our targets.
You look at the points, Martin. Actually, they can still play for a European spot, depending on other people's fixtures.
Can they? Well, wait, he's eighth a spot now.
Motion detected at the front door.
I think because of the fifth spot being Champions League, and then I think if
Newcastle come top 5, their spot for the FA Cups, for the League Cups freed up.
Sure.
Yeah. It works out. I'm pretty sure, Martin. Because I think I heard it being said that
it goes down to 8th.
Yeah.
Well,
it's 7th normally.
Brentford are on. Let's have a look.
Well, I did say also depends on other people's results as well.
Yeah. I'm just looking now.
So it's not entirely they're going to be on the beach. They've still got something to play for, but it's not as strong as
JRA said it. Yeah, JRA said it. Bournemouth are always on the beach, so I think we need to, they're good at playing on the beach.
No, but personally, I do think we should be beaten. I think, listen, you got to try, but you wouldn't have asked for a nice fixture at home than Bournemouth.
But no, let's not mug off for the FA Cup.
The
FA Cup.
Yeah,
the FA Cup. The FA Cup is absolutely magic. If I think about all the football in my childhood, I don't actually remember. You didn't watch league football much. Apart from watching your own club, that was a bit more invisible. The FA Cup was that one day. If you go back, and you'll remember this, Alan, you'll remember it far better than me. But the FA Cup was, apart from when the World Cup came on, was the biggest thing in football. The whole country stopped and watched it in the afternoon, and it was huge. And to me, it's sad. It started with United playing reserves in the FA Cup early rounds, and it started with them doing things like putting the FA Cup on at silly times of day, putting it on during the season. The FA, and it should be one of their golden geese, have done a lot of damage to it because the FA Cup is not the biggest thing in football like it used to be. And the fact that, 40 years ago, if someone had said, we're going to be playing a league game next week and it's going to be more important than the FA Cup, it would have been an absolute joke. The FA Cup was as big as the league, was as big as anything. And I reckon, I still reckon there's that magic there, but it does,
my mate's followed us over. My mate's followed us over from Hassam's channel. The guy who thinks Melissa Reddy's a source of information.
Yeah, you should listen to your co-hosts, Martin, and not get all excited about your mates following you around YouTube. But no, it was magic, but it's a pity down here because you don't get the whole day when you're in Australia. You don't get that whole everything in the papers, going down to the game if it's City, or it's just going to the pub or watching it with your mates if it's not. So it's not quite the same magic, but it's got history. It's arguably the biggest trophy
Has
in the
Australia
world
got
for
off,
true
got off the
history.
FA Cup for a number of reasons, though, Rich? I mean, because
I know it has because of playing it. Yeah,
but also, is it also because, you know, I think most over the last good few amount of years that I can remember, it's mainly the bigger teams that have won the FA Cup. Do you know what I mean? It's usually, us, United, Chelsea, Arsenal. When you're looking at like someone like Crystal Palace, I mean, normally they don't even get to a final. It's usually two big hitters. So
it's because of money. It got highlighted when United played not their best 11 in the FA Cup because they chased money out in the Caribbean or wherever it was with the World Club Cup. That told everyone in football money is more important than the FA Cup. Other teams started doing it then, and then I've always found it absolutely crazy that clubs like Villa and Newcastle, over the years have put out weak sides in the FA Cup chasing league places above the FA Cup. And I've never understood why you would ever chase a league place over a trophy and glory and your fans having the best day ever. Look at Newcastle winning the League Cup this year and the celebrations in Newcastle. I mean, the whole city went nuts.
But what Ooley's charge? I've never had to pay one of them, Lina.
No, you don't have to pay the use charge if your car, one is fully electric or hybrid, or it's actually under the emission zone. So. So if you've got a fairly new car, Martin, you won't be paying the emission zone. It's for
I'm
really
just
old cars.
I didn't even know it was even on about that.
Is anyone particularly worried about Crystal Palace's I mean, this is probably one of the best Palace sides that I know I've ever seen, in my history. I mean, they have played pretty well this season. I think they had obviously difficulties at the start of the season, but even last season, I think they were doing pretty decent, and they've got some decent players, even players that have been linked to us, at other big clubs. So, it's not like, I don't think we could not think that going into the game that we're going to run them over. I know we have on past results in the league, but, in an FA Cup final, anything can happen, and they've got players that could definitely hurt us. So is anyone particularly worried?
Well, in the FA Cup final, you've got to be worried. Because remember, I went to the Wigan game. They can do you on any given day. They can do you. And they have got good players. I think we've got to admit that. They're quick, especially up front. And if we don't turn up, we'll get beat. If we play like we did last weekend, we'll get battered. Dead simple.
But do you expect Alan to see that team out?
No.
Do you expect to see do you think perhaps going to make changes? Do you think, who do you think will be on the field?
I hope he makes changes from last week. Christ.
Yeah, I actually think last week's team was more like you should pick for a game like Palace, and was just totally unsuitable for Southampton, because Palace will give us a bit more space because they will break, they will attack a bit more. Therefore, someone like Akanji playing at the back is probably a very good thing against Palace. It was just no, exactly. It's not playing for a draw. It's not, and they're infinitely better than, they've got more attacking players and better attacking players than Southampton. So in a way, if we played the team we played last weekend, we would have had a bit more space up front. So it might have worked better there. And having Akanji and Lewis instead of Nunes and, Nico might be better defensively and possession wise. So, but we need to get ourselves up. We need to be motivated. We need to play with a bit of heart for De Bruyne. I think the problem is, and normally we'd say, right, we've got 3 games left. we can just give absolutely everything and bury ourselves for 3 games. But the trouble isn't. The trouble is, in 3 days, less than a month, we're going out to play a trophy in America for 100 million, and that's making it. That's changing it as well.
The club care, Alan.
I don't.
No, but you're not the club, Alan. With all up until respect, mate, you're not the club. But Mime and Snoopy, by the way, spawned me. Why can't we prioritise both?
I think we, in an ideal world, it is prioritising both. But I think the problem is that we all know what will happen if we don't get Champions League football. I think like I said earlier, with the FA Cup being not at the end of the season, being just before the end of the season, it kind of really puts a different scope on things. It makes feel that it's. I don't mean to say this, but it's the only way I can kind of put it. Really, it's a bit of a nuisance. It's a bit of a. We really could do with not having this game. In all honesty, right now, we need to. It feels like we need to be focused on the league rather than the FA Cup. That's how I kind of think most of us probably would say.
All right. I'll
not
spin
to.
I'll spin it on it.
Wow.
Do you think Pep's going to put a side out because he wants to save his best side for Tuesday?
No. I don't think Tuesday will have any recollection on this game Saturday.
I think Pep is going to put out a side with his heart on Saturday. I would not.
What do you mean by that, Rich? Do you think he's going to be sentimental and put out like the old?
I think he will be a little bit. Yeah, I think he will be a little bit sentimental. I'll be surprised if, for example, De Bruyne and Gundogan aren't in the side on Saturday. I think there'll be a few players who, whether he does it consciously or unconsciously, I think there'll be a few players put out there because Pep believes that they will have a little swan song and, that chance to really play that game in front of the City fans at Wembley and things like that be a real fitting kind of sign off to them. So therefore, it will be interesting to see if there's a couple of players who don't start on Tuesday, even though it could be their last game at the Etihad, because they start on Saturday.
I'm just going to do these because they have been sat here for a while. Cornelius, thank you for gifting 10 channel memberships, my friend. You, sir, are a legend. Thank you so much. Foggy, who I've got another message for in a minute, has gifted 10 channel memberships as well. So big up Foggy, mate. You, sir, a legend, as well as getting very close to his 2-year anniversary. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate it. Outdoor Benja has also gifted 5 channel memberships as well. So big up Outdoor Benja. Make sure you're saying thank you and W's in the chat for everyone who has gifted. Bella has gifted 1 and 2 channel memberships. Thank you very much, mate. You, sir, are also a legend. Adam Quinn has done his 18-month, a year and a half now membership. Thank you so much, mate. Ed has chucked in the $1.99. Thank you very much. We will come back to these in a minute because the questions, so I will do it. I will come back to them. Professional Idiot has gifted 10 channel memberships as well. You, sir, are a legend. Thank you so much. Spartacus has renewed for a 10th month, as well as giving a super chat. You, sir, are a legend. So you know what that means?
More than you believe. More than you believe, I'm happy.
Ed, with the $1.99, like I said earlier, and we will get into this. Would you start Haaland, Nico, and Nunes? We're going to go into the starting lineup soon, but if any of you want to answer that.
I would start Haaland. I'd probably start Nunes over Rico. I think Nunes deserves to be back in the right back position. I don't think he's done that much wrong over recent, games. I I think we need to be solid at the back. So
yeah, I'd start Akanji again. I thought he looked solid against Southampton. I think we do need a player. Against Bournemouth, I think we need to be pretty solid against the break. So I think we are going to need, at least 3 of our top defenders playing. And there's no doubt when Guardiola goes to left back, or even Akanji played right back and Guardiola and Diaz at centre back, if we have 3 of those proper defenders playing, we're a better defensive side. So
do you mean as well with the Nico? Is it Nico O'Reilly or Nico? Just don't have to send another super chat, mate. Just put it in the chat. But I probably would look at starting Nico O'Reilly at left back because I still think having Diaz and Guardiola at centre backs I think works. If Kanji is definitely good. And
the difference is I wouldn't start Nico and Nunes. I've said it from before the start of the season.
I would.
If you're playing Nico, play Akanji right back, because playing 2 centre backs and 2 full backs who aren't defenders, who can't defend that well against Palace is suicide. Especially when we don't have Rodri.
The thing is, Rich, though, like I think with Diaz and Guardiola having that pair, they've done
that's fine. But then
we haven't lost a game. We haven't lost a game with them 2 at the back in 10 games, Rich. Like
but I'm not saying don't play them 2 at the back. I'm saying if you play Nico, play Akanji right back and give yourself.
You put it left back.
I said if
you
play
I do not want Nunes
play Akanji right back. You don't. I do not like, and I never have, even when the likes of Walker were still here, I don't like us playing 2 fullbacks who can't defend at the same time. Play 1 fullback who's a defender, whether it's an Ake, an Akanji, Walker, whatever, and then you've got 3 proper defenders when the other defender goes up. Nunes, and with respect, we did beat Palace with those 2 playing, but we could have conceded 4 goals in the first.
Rico Lewis played.
Did they not play?
No,
but it was Guardiola and Diaz played, or did Rico play left?
No, it was. I'll give it a line. That's what just checking.
And Palace were a more dangerous team than
because they did come down. They came a lot down the fullback side. They did come down O'Reilly's side a lot, but he was very new in the team then at fullback, and then they went against Lewis. Rico Lewis. I love him to bits. Think he's a nice guy, good player. Is he Manchester City levels at the moment? No.
I just don't think he's a right back, Martin. I think in the midfield, he's shown that he can do a really good job. I think
we're talking about playing Akanji, not.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
I'm just saying, don't put Nunes out. Nunes will get rinsed.
Why does Akanji deserve to play?
Because we want Nunes
will get
want to lose.
We've just won 4 or 5.
If you want to be, if you want to be here on Monday, with Alan being totally and utterly smug and telling you, I told you, because we get destroyed because we decide to play 2 attacking midfielders at fullback, then. That if you want that, that's fine. I don't. I think that would be unbearable.
So what's been our best run of form this season, Rich? Why is that coming?
Nunes is not a fullback. It's not a fullback.
Those games aren't at Wembley. They aren't must-win games, and they weren't against Palace. So it's different.
This is my thing. I'm going to say this. People talk like Crystal Palace is our bogey team. I've never heard so much trying.
No, they're a team that actually deserve respect. Unlike
I'm not saying they don't, but this thing of Palace, one of our bogey teams, load of bullshit.
We've only lost 3 games against them in the last 10 years?
Bullshit. All these Crystal Palace are our bogey team. I don't know where it's come from.
Whichever way you go, the reason we haven't been good this season is because we went to playing 2 fullbacks who can't defend in the same games. They both push up. We've been left totally exposed time and time again.
It's what he wants, Rich. It's what he wants because our wingers, Rich, I'm going to be straight with you. Our wingers are garbage. End of, Rich.
And they haven't even been played in a lot of those games.
Rich, they're garbage. No, end of Rich. Let's not listen. I'm going to stop the happy clapping for a second. Our wingers, Rich, are shit. End of.
Imagine.
Move on.
Imagine if anyone else said Foden was garbage, Martin would be going ballistic. But he's been played there and playing better there.
He's docking Manchester City levels. No.
Yeah, and so
is Jack Grealish right now Manchester City level? No.
Why would you blame? Our problem has not been scoring goals; it's been being absolutely open at the back. So why try and defend playing two fullbacks you can't defend by blaming wingers? It's not got to do with the wingers. It's got to do with the fact you can't.
Rich, Nunes and O'Reilly have got us that, Andrew.
Martin.
And listen, I always agree with you.
Listen,
respectfully,
you're both right. You're both right. Our wide players are shit. I agree with you, Martin. But I'm sorry, Nunes is not a fullback. He's not.
Martin. Alan, if we were playing Ake, I'd be 100% fine playing Nunes. Or if we played Guardiola left back with Diaz and Akanji at centre back, I would be fine playing Nunes, because I know that when Nunes is up on the end, the three at the back can actually form a robust defence of three behind whoever's playing in centre midfield, and we can actually defend. We can defend with three players across the pitch. When we've only got two, we show time and time again we can't defend. And if Palace have a good game, we'd be toast. So whether it's Guardiola left back or a Kanji right back, I want us to have three proper defenders on the pitch.
So you want us to change everything that's put us on this 9-game unbeaten run?
No, I want to change everything that has made 24-25 be the worst team, because 24-25, we've done it time and time again, and we have had a terrible season. For the 5 years before that, we nearly always played three top quality defenders and one attacking fullback, and we were the best team in the world. So if you're asking me, do I want to be the best team in the world or Man City 24-25, Manchester City 24-25? We were the best team in the world. You can we were, and we need to go back to because we started playing two fullbacks who can't defend.
Nunes is shit.
Martin, if you become the best team in the world, Alan, he's not. Alan, he's not. This is nothing. This is nothing to do with Nunes. Take out the personalities. Nunes is not. Nunes has done all right. He's done better. It is a simple fact that when we are in attack, when people go up, 3-on-2, we're like the Red Sea. We're like the passing of the Red Sea.
Absolutely
not.
Garbage, Rich.
So you think you would? So you
would?
Rich. You would rather give up 18 to 24. You are saying City 25. You're saying City 25 is better than City 18 to 24. If you really think we're better this season than we were for 6 years before, let's go with what's made this season so great. If you think perhaps we were better, if you think we were better between 18 to 24, let's learn a few lessons from that and actually go back to what made us the best team in world football. We need new people to do it. Our team's got too old, but let's not try and pretend that this season's wonderful and that we've got this amazing new tactic of fullbacks who can't defend, because it isn't amazing.
Spot on, Rich.
I'm sorry. Are you done now?
Yeah.
Right, can I start now? Rich? No, you've had your say. You've not watched a lot of the City games in the last 10 months while you've been jotting around the world. You've just
absolute rubbish.
No, Rich,
no. Rich, so you think we used to be worse?
Rich, I'm muting you. You have not watched City for the last 10 games. You've just proved it. Not once did anyone hear, I didn't hear Ozza, I didn't hear Alan, or anyone say, where we're playing now is better than 18-24. I don't know why you're chucking 6 years into the mix. Jesus Christ. Don't know why you're chucking that in.
Martin, it's his opinion. It's his opinion.
And I'm disagreeing with Alan. Three defenders who could defend.
Rich, if you with respect, mate, if you let other people debate, this is how debates talk. You're over talking me now when I'm trying to speak. Come on. You've given your opinion, Rich. I totally disagree with you.
Yes.
Because for me, Nunes and O'Reilly have been
Andrew,
a
I could do
massive
this popcorn. I've got
reason
to the kitchen. I might go and
why
get it.
we have done this unbeaten run. Because what that has allowed them to do is push forward. Because whether you like it or not, our wingers are not good enough. And then what works is Doku comes on with 20 minutes to go and he sees out the game. O'Reilly then inverts and he can manoeuvre forward. At the moment, that is why it's worked. Gavardio going into the middle. I'm not saying it's going to work next season. I'm talking right now. But the way people are talking about Palace is the same way I heard everyone talk about when we went to the semi-final and we were playing Nottingham Forest and we shouldn't have turned up at that game because Forest were going to give us a slapping. Took us 63 seconds before we opened them up like a can of beans.
Yeah, after you lot had all slagged off picking Rico at right back.
Right, and that's fine, but Rico Lewis was absolutely garbage down at Southampton last week, Rich.
Yeah, which was inevitable because we needed a player who could cross. So if ever there's a game for Nunes, it was that Southampton
But he
game.
brought a player who could cross at half time. And do you know what Doku did? Fell over the ball time after time after time after time.
Who said Doku can cross? No one said Doku can
But
cross.
Nunes
Nunes is our best crosser. And
I know, I'm not dictating.
Yeah, and he should have played at Southampton.
You're playing a Kanja. I don't think a Kanja. What I would do
actually, I said I'd play Guardiola left back. I said I'd play Guardiola left back.
That's stupid. No, that's stupid. That Nunes Guardiola should be a left centre back for me. Diaz at the right. He should never have changed that back line. For me, and this is my opinion, Alan, the back line should not change for the rest of the season.
So you'd play Rico then?
No, I would play O'Reilly at left back, Nunes at right back, Guardiola and Diaz. That should never have changed. There you go. Bloody hell, have you had some smarties tonight, Rich?
I just think it's one of the most obvious things that we have been when we don't play in general, when we don't have three defenders, our setup in defence when we have the ball is awful and we get hammered on the flanks. And that
I am accepting that. No, but Pardo, I am accepting it. But our defensive record over the last 10 games has been the best it's been all season with that 4 at the back, Pardo. Tell me I'm wrong factually. Because factually, I'm not wrong.
Don't forget the bigger pitch at Wembley, which it is.
Do you know how big the Etihad is? Same size as Wembley, Alan, so I don't know what you're on about that for.
Well, mate, listen. When you play at the Etihad, teams sit back in the Etihad and they just sit there. Palace are going to have a dip at weekend because it's cup final. I'm sorry, but you're both right. Our wide players are crap and don't have any end product, right? And don't run back and defend properly. And our fullbacks bobbing on forward leave us exposed, which they do.
Spot on, that's where I'm at. Keep it for the next 3 games, then you can change it next year. I'm not saying go with it for next year.
We'll have signings. We'll have signings next year. Hopefully, a left.
By the way, Ozzy, before I bring you in, I need to say this because I think this is the most important message of the whole night. Matt Fogg, just letting you guys know, on Sunday morning, I am now in full remission, long 16 months. 1 more radiotherapy session, and then the next hospital is not till December. Massive big up to Matt Fogg. Please wish him the best in the chat.
Well done.
Amazing news.
Great news.
Fantastic.
Well done, Foggy, mate. We're all with you, mate, and that is outstanding. W's in the chat for Foggy. Absolutely amazing. So big up to him. Right, come on then. Where are you, Ozzy? Because I'm just I wasn't expecting all this tonight. I thought we're coming in with a nice chinwag, and Rich has come in with World War VI.
Oh, don't forget Alan, piping you,
Alan's like that
missiles.
cheerleader, isn't he? Go on,
Daring
go on.
Yeah. Daring to disagree. What a sin.
No, you can disagree, but I don't need cheerleaders in the background.
Dare you have an opinion, Rich? That's what I want to say to you. How dare you have a different opinion?
I know. How dare I disagree with your opinion?
Listen, personally, I think you're right or you're wrong. So I don't think if you look at the season as a whole, let me finish, Alan, before you start sniping in. Thank you very much. Sorry, what was that?
No, you said you're right, he's wrong. Who's right?
Wow, if you let me speak, Alan, I might be able to tell you. Sorry, do you want to snap again?
He said you're right,
I'm with
Alan,
everyone
and
tonight.
we're both wrong.
Oh,
yeah, blimey. If someone get a word in, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? So, yeah, as I'm trying to say, this is, I think, something we'll probably get into at the season review at the end of the season. No one has played well, really and truly. I think every single player has had a dip in form or stunk the place out. I think the only two exceptions you could probably say who have had best seasons, but I think not as bad as everyone else, Guardiola and probably Haaland. But even at times they've had poor games. It's not just been the wingers. It's not just been our fullbacks. It's the whole team that have basically imploded. So you're all right and you're wrong. That's what I'm saying. Now I think, Martin, you've been very harsh on the wingers because Savio is his first season in the Premier League. Mm-hmm. He's still relatively new. He's still relatively young. He's only 20. And I think at times he had to play more than probably Pep would have liked for him to have played. I think Doku, you are right about Doku. And I've even said it myself that his end product needs to improve. But I think in all honesty, it's his second season, and with the way our season's gone, I still give him a bit of, time, because I think once the team has improved for next season, I think then is when he needs to step up. When we've got a better solid team and a more vitalised team going in. One of the biggest issues that has been this season is our midfield. Our midfield has completely crumbled at times. One, because yes, Richard, right, Rodri has been missing, but two, Gundo, Kovacic, even Kevin De Bruyne have all fallen off the cliff.
They don't have the legs.
There are times where our midfield has been completely ripped to shreds. Like it's not even there. So I think Martin's right in the respects of, when you look at the back four, especially the last 10 games, especially with having Riley, Diaz, Guardiola, and Nunez, has been solid enough that it's seen us through games. For me, Nico O'Reilly, I think, was pushed a little bit too far, and he's needed that time off because he's still a young player and he's shown a lot of promise, but he's still got a lot of time to learn the game at a professional level. Right now, we've just got to go in. For me, when I look at the starting 11, I want the best starting 11 to go out there. I want Pep to take it seriously because it's the FA Cup. I would like to see Mamouche and Haaland link back up because I think they're our deadliest threat right now. Mamouche is a very exciting player, and I think with them two going forward into next season, that's a partnership I definitely want to see more of. And I think with the wingers situation, I think Pep will do what he has to, what he believes will win us the game. Whether that's having Mamouche out on the wing or whether that's bringing Docker in or sticking Foden out there. I think, in all honesty, I can't predict the lineup. In all honesty, what Pep is going to do.
No.
I just hope he puts a lineup that's going to go out there and win the game, because I want us to see a trophy. I really do. That's the way I'm looking at things right now.
I would agree with you on Savio. I agree with you on that. That is probably a bit harsh. When I'm saying that, I don't think I'm generally talking 2 out of the 3. I think with the players we're going for in the summer, I don't think Doku may. I hope he does. I'm just not sure he will get that time, Ozzy. Sadly.
Well, to be honest, Mike, I don't think Doku's going anywhere, if that's what you're thinking. I think with all the players...
I don't think he's going to start a lot of games also next year.
Martin, he might not.
Wants to play.
He may come on as a very much an impact sub, which he's done pretty well.
Yeah, that's what I'm not sure he'll be happy with. I don't think he'll be happy with that.
But he, again,
we will for a year or two, but not for
We've said, Martin, he needs to improve his own product, and that's something that I think he has the time and ability to do. We know he can do it.
He's acknowledged it. He said it in his interview last weekend. He knows 100% what he needs to work on.
If you're going for players like Wirtz and Reinders, etc., you're going for the ready-made ones. We ain't got time. No, but then you're still going to have Mamouche. You're still going to get forward and all them in. And I think you could end up losing out to them on the wing.
But in all honesty, Martin, what have I said for the last few years? I have said we need to have players even on the bench that are not happy to be on the bench and they want to fight for the starting positions. That's what I want going into next season. So I don't care if you're upset that you're not on the starting 11. Good. I want you to be like, I want to get out there and I want to prove to Pep that I'm the one who should be starting. The other problem we've had is that we've had to rely on a lot of players that have not been rotated because they couldn't be. And we've had to rely on the likes of Savio, who's had to be played. When normally, if we'd have had a full fit squad, Bob would have challenged him this season to that position. And we'd have seen a lot more of Bob, but we haven't. We have to rely on Savio for his first season. I think we've got to give some players a bit more time because we have got other positions. We've got to basically rebuild the midfield in the summer. Plus, if we're going to bring in 2 new fullbacks, plus if we're going to bring in another goalkeeper, we're not going to do 7, 8 transfers in the summer.
No, but they're going to have to go on there to make room.
I think there are going to I think Doku or Savio.
I think the point.
I don't think Savio. I wouldn't rule out a Doku transfer.
I think that what we can see this season, though, is that for any player in any position, you can excuse the centre-backs because the midfield's been terrible. You can excuse the midfield because the defence has been terrible. You can excuse the wingers because the midfield's been terrible. You can excuse the midfield because the wingers have been terrible. I think the fact is, until we've seen some of these players playing regularly in their second or third season in a team that's playing well, you don't really know what they can do. And, my biggest thing for Doku is that, the amount of times he has got past the last man and there's been no one in the box, where if he'd been playing for a team with the likes of Baleba or, even some of the Palace players who've got the energy to get up and down, then...
Or having Haaland in the box, Rick.
Then, Haaland breaking into the box, then we would have got more goals and we would be looking at Doku more favourably. Though in a way, the reason he's looked good coming on at the end is sometimes the opposition's attacking us a bit more and there's a bit more of us playing on the break. Doku has a bit more space and there's a bit more space in the box. Where he doesn't work, and this is partly him, but is games like Southampton where there are 10 defenders in the box and everyone says you can't cross. Well, Messi couldn't always cross when there were 10 players in the box because it is crowded. It's hard unless someone makes an absolutely exceptional run. There's no one to cross to. But we'll see. I think if we do sign Gibbs White and Reinders, that gives us a very different energy in midfield. And that will change the game for the wingers, the fullbacks.
That's what I'm saying, Rich. You get your Morgan Gibbs White, your Reinders, your Wirtz potentially. Still got Mamouche, Oscar Bob. That's why I think. I think there will be a lot more. I think there'll be more leave.
There'll definitely be more competition.
By the way,
it may help them.
At that point.
But it may help them. It may help some of them improve a lot to be playing with better players.
No, Rich, the problem is we won't have enough spaces to improve. We can only sign 17 foreign players, Rich.
Yeah, no, and we
now. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Some have to go.
I think there'll be a lot more going because, by the sounds of it, you know, from everything that's been reported, I think you're going to see pretty much all the midfield go of the older players. I think
what we do need is an English. We need 2 English keepers. I think, you know, I don't know what will happen with the keeper situation, but I think we can't possibly. I just think we can't be wasting 2 goalkeeper spots on in that 17.
All honesty,
no. By the way, Andrew, I get that. Different keys, different locks, 100%. But the trouble is, again, we have got one, maybe 2 foreign spots open. Excuse me. You want to bring in people to Reinders, Wirtz, Morgan Gibbs White, and other people. You know, some people are going to have to go, Andrew. They're just going to have to, whether people.
But again, if you get the amount of foreign players out, Martin, the likes of Kovacic, Gundo, KDB, that already opens up 3 spots right there.
No, KDB takes it down to 15. Kushinov gets added in, and so does Gavardio. Because they're not in the squad at the moment.
Yeah, but I'm saying if all those go, that opens. And Kovacic and Gundo.
Maybe Edison. Although Edison will be
but Edison will get replaced.
Be straight for Costa, yeah.
Don't forget Nunes can go as well.
That's what I'm saying. People want all 3. Right, this is the problem. One of them's going to have to go, maybe 2. Because Mamouche is going to want to play. I get they're all going to play 60 games, but they're going to want to play more than 10 games, 20 games. But I mean, this is a pet problem. This is the other side of the small squad to the big squad. You want a big squad?
To be fair, and to be fair, we've spent most of this season complaining that we couldn't even. Yeah, and so we might have problems with a big squad, but equally we might get 8 injuries again, and we might still be struggling with a big squad.
To be fair, like. These players can moan, and I want them to moan because if they're on the bench, like I said before, I want them to be fighting to get into the 11.
Yeah.
But also, these players have got to remember, though, Rich, that they're playing for Manchester City, who have won more in the Premier League out of all the Premier League teams than any other club. You know, we are challenging for the big titles. You know, when you come to City, you need to be fighting because you are going to be coming in playing a lot of games. So we do need a bigger squad. We do need these players, and you know, if they want to be playing for one of the top clubs in the world, then you're going to have competition for spaces. That's just the nature of the game.
See, I'm going to be honest. I actually think we'll wallop Palace at the weekend.
You said it now.
No, I do. I don't get the doom and the gloom. Yeah, Palace could have. Palace, yeah, they were 2-0 up, but anyone watches that game back at the Etihad, City could have been 2 up. People talk like Palace should have just been 2 or 3 and City were in the game. We hit the post, we were doing all sorts to them. I honestly, you know, I get Glasner's done a very good job with Palace, but I just think in a final is when the big players turn up.
Well, we saw that against Forest, didn't we? Do you know what I mean? Where I think a lot of people were thinking that Forest could have gone further against us, you know, but I think it's one of those things really where I think City played the game and Forest played the occasion, and that's exactly what could happen with Palace. That they forget about to play the game, they're playing the occasion. And that's what happens to a lot of clubs who have not won anything or haven't won anything in a while. the occasion gets to them. It happens. It's easily done. It's happened to us in our past where we've reached finals and then we've kind of gone, oh God, the pressure's on.
Yeah, it can happen.
Look at Rich.
It can go the other way.
Up.
Yeah, it can go the other way too. I mean, this game will mean so much to them. If Glasner gets the motivation right, you're going to have players playing 20% more effort than they've ever played, because this is, it's now the biggest game in Palace's history. Without, they could win a trophy. I mean, it's hard to put yourselves in the shoe of a club who've been up in the top flight for a large part of the last 30 years, who have a century plus history and haven't won a trophy. And it's arguable whether it's them or Brighton, who are obviously close rivals, who's the biggest club who's never won a trophy. And you've got those two clubs. So, and we owe it to Brighton to make sure it's not Palace who become the first one of them to win a trophy.
Go on, Alan. What do you think of the weekend? I'm going nice and positive. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win.
I'm glad. Well, I think it'll be tight. I think Palace are a decent side. They've got good players. The manager I rate. I think he's quality. I think it'll be a tight game. There won't be much in it. And I'm praying we don't get extra time.
Oh.
Well, the game on Tuesday. Jesus Christ. So I agree with Ozzy in a way that the FA Cup final should be at the end of the season, not now.
Yeah, but it's only because of now, because of the Club World Cup.
The Club World Cup. Mickey Mouse can go and play with fucking Disneyland if they want to. Fuck me. It's going to be a very tight game. I think Palace will be up for it, and they're a useful side on the break because they're quick, and they are quick. And it's important that Rich is right. It's important we get our defence spot on, and not leave ourselves exposed. Really is important.
I don't think Pep's thinking Mickey Mouse for the World Club Cup either. I think he's thinking.
That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
But I think what Pep will be thinking is that when the European trophy started, everyone said Mickey Mouse. English clubs didn't even bother to go because playing with European teams was same was said about the World Cup. But the truth is now, if England could have been the first team to win the World Cup and put their name in history, they'd love to do
that. They lost their identity for me, and how important it was. Well, they didn't play the American champions. They just put Miami into it.
And the teams pick for it. In truth, you're going to have City and Chelsea when arguably Liverpool and Arsenal are the best English clubs. You're going to have Madrid and Atletico when Barca are the best Spanish clubs. So you are going to have a lot of the champions of this year's European leagues and the best teams in those leagues not there, which, is, it's a bit funny. It is going to take a little bit of gloss off. That said, I'm glad it's us getting the 100 million, not Arsenal, or Liverpool.
By the way, these have just been confirmed. The Academy Awards, Scholar of the Season, Matty Warhurst. Under 18s, Player of the Season is Reagan Hasker. Under 18s, Player of the Season, Divine McCasker. And the EDS Player of the Season goes to Max Elaine. EDS Player of the Season, Players Player of the Season, Charlie Gray. So congratulations to everyone involved. Big up the Academy, by the way. Big up to Jamal Simpson-Puzzi as well for winning, was it Premier League 2 Player of the Year? Or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So big up to him. That'll add an additional 10 million onto his transfer fee in the summer. I'm not lying. Look at you all. You all think I'm lying there because you're all like, you're not. That's what he's just done. And I think McCasker's going to have problems as well now, sadly. And actually, I mean, Jesus, it's great. By the way, yes, that is true. Getting off that, Como have agreed the deal for Perone to go for 25 million to Como to go and join Cesc Fabregas's boys over in Italy. So yeah, I think we all need to calm down on some of these. Yay, we're buying them. They're going to be superstars, and then we don't ever see them ever again. It is what it is. It is what it is. Right. Quickly, we'll talk about it. Obviously, there has been a bit of news today come out. I don't know if people have seen this. But do you remember Senor Tabas, our lovely friend?
Yeah, no, we saw it.
City and PSG will face no action from the European Commission after allegations that they did breach the EU competitions law. La Liga President Javier Tabas did file a complaint about the club's alleged use of state resources under the EU's foreign subsidies regulation. It has been chucked out and told to piss off, basically. So, yeah, that's something else to try chucking at us. And we won on that one as well.
Well, Tabas is a toss pot, isn't he? Let's be completely honest.
Yeah, well, what can I say?
I hope he's the one. You know, I've always said that we're not going to be out with 1,000 legal cases if we win on the 130. We're not going to be suing people left, right, and centre. But the one person I hope we do is Tabas, because he has actually, you know, slandered City, and he's done it very publicly. And he's not used words like alleged. He's actually accused us of, you know, he's accused us essentially fairly directly of being like Enron, you know, where there was very, very, very serious fraud going on. So he'd be the one person I'd like us to go after, you know, and really put him in his place. But we probably won't.
Like I said, where do you want to go on the Wirtz though? Because obviously Liverpool suddenly now think they've done something they haven't done. Liverpool have had no meetings with Wirtz. The only meeting Wirtz has had recently is with Manchester City. So I don't know where everyone's got this idea about Wirtz and Liverpool. Liverpool are definitely interested, is the information I had. But City are the ones who are leading it at the moment.
Yeah,
so,
I think Liverpool will be like us with Declan Rice. You can't come in for a player like that at the absolute last minute when Bayern.
Well, City have already got the fee agreed.
And City have been doing the work, yeah.
City have already agreed the fee verbally.
Yeah, I think they're just doing what we do with Rice. You're right, Rich.
Alan,
if it's indeed true.
Now, considering, like I said, City have agreed the fee verbally. Apparently, they want McAtee as well. His mum, by the way, like I said, when he came in, there was no meeting with Liverpool. Sky have confirmed that. Fabrizio Romano's confirmed that. Everyone has confirmed it. Liverpool have had no meetings with Wirtz. So I don't know.
My opinion, Martin. My opinion is just let it all play out. A lot of papers are writing a lot of bullshit about everybody.
No, it wasn't papers. It was actually photographed.
Oh, they're all journalists lie.
Alan, stop. Listen to what I've just said. He was seen at City.
Fine. Been shown around.
Yeah, right. That's not journalists.
Right. Been shown around. It means fuck all.
Well, I think it doesn't play out. Doesn't mean F all.
So you just go for a wander around here for the fun of it.
Listen, Alan, this has never happened before where a player who's under contract comes to have a look around. That just doesn't happen unless a deal with the opposite team has been agreed. We've never done this before, Alan. We didn't do it with Haaland. So you've got to put it into perspective, mate, that he has come across with his family, his representatives, because City have agreed a deal already with Leverkusen. So it is significant, mate. For me, it put us in a really good position because you only have to look at last week where the Bayern press, German press, were coming out saying a deal's pretty much done with Bayern. And then a week later, all of a sudden, he's having a wander around Manchester City I mean, come on. I mean, it's not nothing. Now, he could still choose Bayern. I'm not saying he can't. But really and truly.
Mate, that's what I'm thinking about. And there's been a lot of bullshit being written on and spoke about in the media. Let's let it play out. The people, I trust the people in charge of the club. So let them do what they have to do.
No, Alan, no one's denying that, but people aren't understanding things here. Right. The simple fact of this is, and Richard says, for Wirtz to be allowed to walk around City's campus, Bayer Leverkusen will have known. Which means Bayer Leverkusen have given the green light, meaning we're virtually done. The rumours of agreeing a fee is done.
We've agreed the fee. Martin, I would imagine as well that personal terms would have been pretty much agreed as well.
Yeah,
before he came, or just to thrash them out there and then at the time would have been finished off. You know, so it's pretty much he's been told, you know, this is what the offer is, this is what we're willing to pay for you, this is what we're going to give you in wages, bonuses, blah blah blah. Now we're showing you around because I think for him and his family, you know, it's coming to visit. It's literally kind of coming to see what the project is, where he could be playing. It's meeting some of the players, because you know that would have happened as well. You know, so I think it's all.
And he's probably seen everything at Bayern, because he'll have trained there with the national team almost certainly. He'll have played, you know, quite a few league games there. Spent a lot of time there. He'll have friends there, so he probably doesn't need to do that for Bayern. But I think if he, you know, I haven't seen a photo of him at the club, but if he is there, it would be with the club knowing, or else he'd be able to be fined his week wages or more, and City could be done for tapping up. So the fact, if he has been there, it must be with the club's knowledge. But I've got no doubt Bayern will be doing everything they can to get City or Madrid to sign him, because they will get a bigger fee, because Bayern always get away with underpaying, you know, domestically, and they'll get a bigger fee from City or Real Madrid, and they're not selling him to a rival. So I'm sure they will really want him, and they will be doing all they can to facilitate City and Madrid and not Bayern. It's the same as we would.
Yeah, but the other thing as well with Bayern Munich is that normally what they do is they do what Real Madrid do when it comes to, you know, players in their own league, is they ask them to run down their contract. So Bayern Munich really want him to stay at Leverkusen for another season so they can get him cheaper next season. That is ultimately what they're going to do, or try and get him to do.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
And I think it also comes with Bayern Munich, there's a bit of arrogance as well to this, where I think they feel he's a German player, so all German players who are that talented should be going to Bayern Munich. That is the way Bayern Munich kind of feel about things. That if he really wants to play for Bayern Munich, he'll either come and somehow get Bayer Leverkusen to drop the price, or he'll stay there for another season and then he'll go to Bayern Munich. Because really and truly, Bayern Munich, if you look at what they have put out on wages and new deals for the likes of Musiala, what they're trying to do with Leroy Sané to get him to sign a new deal, the money they paid for Kane, they're a rich club, but they've not really got the money to spend over 100 million euros on a player like Wirtz at his talent. They haven't really got it.
See, you know what makes me laugh is though, people don't read and they don't listen. So I was like, by the way, a Spartacus, I know I forgot your super chat. My bad, I will come to it in about 30 seconds, I promise you, mate. Ornstein put that out about Liverpool. Not once did Ornstein say they better meet him. All he said was Liverpool are interested, which they are. Yeah. When they're closing up the Frimpong deal, they've said, what about Wirtz? That's it. There's been no meetings. Now, Sky confirmed there was no meeting. What is people are believing and they're reading what they want to hear. That is it. And suddenly got the hiccups. My bad. I do apologise. Very rude of me. So, yeah, I will come out to that. Spartacus, my apologies. My real apologies so much. Did you guys see that Chris Wood is nominated for Player of the Year? Jesus. Drop $500 million plus Jack Bernardo, Gundo, Cover and Phillips for Baldi, Yamal and Pedro.
I thought, Spartacus, I'm disappointed. I thought I was going to say drop $500 million plus Jack Bernardo, Gundo, Cover and Phillips for Chris Wood.
Thank you very much, Spartacus. PK has renewed for an 18th month. Thank you so much, my friend. Daniel has renewed.
Spartacus, you might want to get back to your FIFA.
Yeah, he wants to buy Pedri for 220 million. Member for 22 months. Wild Irish Bridge, Birds on a Fridge. What a name. What a name. Member for half a year. Thank you so, so much. You people are superstars, meaning someone is very, very...
More than you believe. More than you believe I'm happy.
And if by magic, Dash Mesh has dropped his 2-year anniversary. Big up, Dash Mesh. How are you, mate? Big up, big up, big up. Thank you so, so much, Dash Mesh. You, sir, are a legend as well. So, yeah, obviously, I don't want to go too much into it. We can go into transfers a little bit more tomorrow. Do any of you want to say anything about it? Because it has been a busy week with transfers. Apparently, Fabrizio today has confirmed that there will be a formal bid for Reinders next week. They're just allowing AC Milan to wrap up all their games and bits and bobs, but it looks like I think Reinders will be a Manchester City player. From what I've heard, Gibbs White is still going to happen as well. Yeah, City are trying to push for everyone. You know, when we're going, is it that player or this player or that player? It looks like it's all bleeding three.
Yeah.
Looks like we are getting that midfield revamp.
Which is why I think we're going to see the likes of Kovacic, Gundo leave as well. And I think probably Bernardo's going. I think because they seriously want to refresh the squad.
We must have buyers then.
I would assume so, whether it's Saudi they're looking at, you know, Kovacic can probably still do something at a European team, you know, but I think the contract extension for Gundo, I think they'll probably do a bit of a gentleman's agreement and just say, listen, come and join the coaching staff, come and be, you know, Pep's number 2 or something, whatever. You know, I think City are going to be ruthless. I think they've been they started this with Kevin De Bruyne. They were ruthless and going, if they can do that to Kevin De Bruyne, they can do it to anybody. Do you know what I mean? And that's, I think, what needs to be done right now.
You're I personally think about transfers, Alan. You're like, believe it when I say it.
I think they'll get Cambias though as well. I think they will get Costa, and I think they'll also get Aina from Forest.
Aina,
because he's on a free. Yeah, I think because he's on a free. I think because of his Premier League experience, it just makes a lot of sense. To be honest, I think they'll probably think it's a short-term measure for now because we've got to do so much other business. That I think they'll come back and have a look at the right back position another window, because we know they can't probably revamp everything like they want to in one window. They did some of it in January. The rest of it's going to be done this summer, and then a few more bits and pieces here and there the summer after. But I think it's a sensible bit of business if they pick up Aina. Anybody else? It's just me.
No, you're right. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit like Alan. I don't get caught up in a lot of the transfer hype because it goes doom and gloom.
Sorry, dinosaurs. I know it's difficult.
No, but you know, Haaland was like, you take Haaland and Bellingham. Take Haaland and Bellingham. You know, everyone spent all their time getting all emotional about 10 times that Haaland was off. And then everyone spent time getting overly happy, emotional 10 times because Bellingham was on. And they were always what they were going to be. So I just sometimes think, yeah, I'm 50-50 on Wirtz. I love Wirtz, but I'm not going to get emotionally happy or emotionally down when one journalist or one in the know or whatever gets all excited or gets all unhappy and, spend wasted emotion on that.
Think of that,
And,
Alan.
I think we'll sign
Mate,
4 5
I love the
players,
badge, but that's the only part of the shirt I like.
And even
the
the badge shouldn't be over the sash.
I did get an
Badge over
update
the
earlier,
sash
by the way. You might as well forget Livramento. Newcastle are not selling Livramento.
And that's why I think we'll go with Aina, in all honesty. Because I think Livramento, for me, I think he's a quality defender. I think the way he's kept certain players in the league, quiet, like the likes of Salah, I think he would be an excellent position, but I can't see it happening, in all honesty. As much as I think it would be a signing.
Wesley is an option. See, I've not seen a lot of this Wesley. I know he's definitely an option. Right back for Flamengo, is it? Flamengo? Basically, he's like a younger version of Kyle Walker, very, very rapid.
But if City are serious about Wesley, which by all accounts they are, wouldn't it be a good idea to bring him in, but not as the first team player? Maybe they will look at someone like Aina for a couple of years and then.
Yeah, but apparently, Ozzy, the Nottingham Press all carried the story yesterday that they've triggered a 1-year renewal. So he's now under contract till summer 26. So if we want Aina, we're going to have to pay for him.
I've not seen that, Rich, if I'm honest.
Yeah, but that was in Nottingham Post yesterday that he signed a deal, 3 1-year deals in effect, and that they've triggered it. So we could get him, but we'll probably have to pay 20, 30 million.
Nottingham Forest contract news announced as impressive key man. I'm getting rid of this advertising. Tip to progress. Nottingham Forest have activated a 1-year extension option in defender Ola Aina's contract. So he's now contracted until the end of the 2025 season.
But even still, he's not going to. If he wants out and he wants to play for City, then he can't. Nottingham Forest can't exactly get an extortion amount for him. He's on 1 year. If they want to make 20 million, it's something they might consider.
Yeah. But I think if we're taking Gibbs White,
especially there's no
less likely.
Yeah, possibly.
Oh, Viana was at the thing today. Viana was at the EDS things. We like it. Just as well, got some info on this. Don't know if people want to. I'm just going to put this in here. Where's Ozzy gone? Ozzy's gone. He's gone.
He's talking to his in the know Nottingham Forest contacts. He's just
trying.
Chris Wood.
I'm just going to put this on screen. We're not going to go for too much longer because tonight is about the cup final. But this has also been reported by 89 for the FA Cup final TIFO. Although we already had a banner ready for the Bournemouth game where the club themselves will pay to tribute him, we were approached by fans to organise a tribute to Kevin on the biggest stages of all at Wembley Stadium. There are no guarantees that Kevin will start or play whatsoever. However, such was the strength of feeling from the fans and the immediate commitment to the fund, they raised £11,000 in one day. That was done on a GoFundMe. I don't know if Nick's still in the chat. So big up Nick, Dante, and all the gang at 1894. Well done on this. And I'm sure everyone will say a massive thank you to everyone for all them contributions. Sitting themselves at the highest levels, where at the end that looks like good on TV, and throw their money behind making that happen. They had already pressed ahead with their plans before submitted ours. Given the situation, we didn't feel it was necessary to continue to ask for any more money. With the fans' display idea been costed and target reached, we asked for support from the fans, especially in the lower tiers. Please hold the display in place so that Kevin and the players can see it. We will also have some of our own telescopics out with the lower tier, as we want to have an excellent visual presence. Let's roll the boys over the line to some more silverware on Saturday. City till we die, 1894.
Yeah, we don't want to do an Arsenal.
So there you go. Right, anything else you want to add, boys, before we wrap up?
No, because we've got Waffle to come. We've got Waffle to come later, so there's no point in adding any.
Yeah, we'll go into more
Waffle
tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be more.
Yeah.
Yes, there will be a space. Like I said, once a week spaces now. That is it. You're going to get it once a week.
When is it?
It's tonight,
11:45
p.m.
I hope
and there'll be one at the weekend, Alan, so don't worry.
No, was it? Then that is it then. Stop being a naughty boy. You're a naughty boy.
I'm not the one who does it.
He was challenging me to a duel earlier on.
Oh.
Was there?
Hey, people are allowed their opinions. Well done, Ozzy. Well done.
Thank you, Alan. He still hasn't accepted it.
What's that got to do with anything we've just said? Alan, I don't know where you get this idea about this, Donopu. We're even talking about this.
What?
What are you on about opinions for?
Well, if someone's got different opinions than you argue like crazy. Your hands go everywhere.
Right. So tell me, Alan, in an opinion where it's got to be, I've got to agree. Alan,
I'm not saying.
Right, so can I disagree?
Of course you can.
Right, that's it then.
It's just
the difference is, Alan, I'm not allowed my opinion. I get told to F off out the club. I'm a main road wanker.
Mate, so I'm a main road wanker as well.
Right. No, you're a Hyde Road wanker, to be fair, Alan.
Who's going to Wembley? Me!
That's not good news, is it really? Let's be honest.
I won't tell you where I'm sitting, but...
No, you told me where you're bloody sitting. You told me your block, and it's Nelson, which is completely... which is...
yellow thing.
Alan, he is in Nelson. He's in block 111. The unlucky
Shut up, dickhead!
In English sport.
Why are you doxing me?
So I've told him...
111, is he?
I've told him he's got to only 1 foot is allowed to touch the ground at any point in the whole game. He's got to he's got to swap from foot to foot, because if he doesn't, we lose. It's all down to Martin. If he swaps foot to foot,
if everyone sees Martin 111 at Wembley and we're losing, kick him out.
No, tell him to get his foot off the ground. He needs to do a David Shepherd and hop from foot to foot, and if he does, we'll be fine. We'll win. If he doesn't hop from foot to foot, we're in trouble.
I'm watching in the Imperial. I'll be in the Imperial watching the game in the Imperial with everybody else. So
in seat 115.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to get from the Imperial, your house, to the Imperial?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
10 minutes away from me.
Cheeky bastard. Takes me 10 minutes to get from the Wembley concourse to
the 10 minutes to the Imperial. And Nick, who's
takes him 10 minutes to Costa Coffee.
Yeah, Nick is in Queensland at the moment. He's not going. And my mate Dave is in Perth, visiting Perth at the moment, so he's not going either. So I'll be there with everybody else that's going to the Imperial at 1:30. So get in there for 1 o'clock. 1:30 on Saturday night. The Imperial, top of Burke Street and Spring in Melbourne.
Cheers, Dad. Yeah, Ed will be doing it. Anyway, yeah, so don't forget, we'll see you all tomorrow. You lot embarrass main road wankers. You lot embarrass main road wankers. What? I don't get that, Benna. I don't get that, mate. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, 115. Yeah, everyone's just telling each where they're all sitting now. Anyway, right. Final thoughts, gentlemen, because we're going to go. We are back tomorrow at 12 p.m. with the Friday Transfer Waffle Show. More than welcome to join us if you're free.
And if you see Martin at Wembley 1-1-1, kick him out if we're losing, please.
No, Alan, you're a cricket man. If he does a David Shepherd, we'll be fine.
Right, okay.
Can't believe we're talking about cricket.
You know, it's not. This
Right,
is
you let the show
superstition,
go.
not cricket. It's not cricket. It's superstition. It's, you know, one of the most unlucky numbers in British history, and you
still
need
talk
to
about it,
take
Rich.
action. Yeah, quite right.
Are we going to the Test series this year to Sydney? Are we going together?
Yeah, I'll be going.
Right,
Sydney,
good man.
Brisbane, Melbourne. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be there. I'm definitely going to Brizzy as well, so that's good. We'll have a few beers. Can we do a show from Brisbane? Like with me and Rich on the screen on the Brisbane Hill. Yes.
At the Pig and Whistle watching City.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
probably be a City game. Yeah. Go down the Pig and Whistle, meet all the Brisbane boys.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Is there anyone live at the minute? Let's have a news. Is LB live or anyone? Or Pat, is anyone live?
Not as far as I know, they're not.
Where's Pat live?
Alan would be the first one to know as well.
Alan didn't know if LB was live. Trust me. That's why he's here.
No, he's Daps now. I'm big buddies with Daps now.
You what?
What?
You what with apps?
They're like that, apparently.
He's on holiday in Benidorm with Daps at the moment.
Who is Alan?
He's in Mykonos, Daps, and he's back as well. He came home.
Bloody hell, he's doxed him. He's doxing Daps now. He's just going down doxing everyone. Right, nobody's live, it looks like. Never mind. Anyway, I was going to do some redirects. Lee Gunner, is he live? I don't think he's live. Is he live? I don't know.
Right. I'm going to get on with some work. So I'm going to go.
All right, then. But no, Lee Gunner's not live. Sad, is he live? No, I don't think Sad's live. No one's freaking live. Never mind. We'll leave it there. Anyway, we'll see you all tomorrow, 12 p.m. 12 p.m. We'll see you all there for the Transfer Waffle Show with me, LB Rich. Hopefully, Ozzy is free. No, do not worry. And we'll see you all. Football 12 man. No, he's not live. The damn Potts isn't live. Definitely not. Oh, no, he is. He is. Right, we'll whack you all over there. Well, that sounds really dodgy, doesn't it? They shouldn't have said that. We'll whack you all over to Dan Potts.
It's 8 a.m. I'm working.
In the chat, I would like you all to say Mankway Raid. 12th, Mac. Where the frig's that going? Oh, you can tell we've been off for a while. Right, there you go. This is going to end and send you all over to Dan Potts. I'm not trying to be LBJ, am I? Because I've done this. What are you doing that for?
No, Rob.
Never said I was LB, man. Because I've done it for 5 years longer than LB. Hey! Bye!
Bye. Night, everyone.